Whether you work on a weekly school paper or a great metropolitan daily, the principles and problems of layout are similar. Any newspaper can be improved. Let's start with a critical evaluation of this paper. Does it have eye appeal? No, but it is typical of newspapers that need analysis. Does the news get to the reader? Does it focus attention on important events? Is the news presented invitingly? Is this a story you want to read? Practices of modern journalism are lacking. Sentences are too long. Typography is obsolete. If your newspaper looked like this, what changes would you make? Let's begin with readability. Readers see newspapers as a sea of gray, but proper page makeup can make it attractive. There are 4 rules to follow. Harmonious layout is the first. Give each page an eye-appealing balance. Next, use abundant white space. Break up the sea of gray with pure white. There should be accents in the hot spots. When accents are used, the reader's eyes are led through copy on the page in the order you establish. Top left, top right, lower left, lower right. Finally, eliminate the ornaments. Ornaments at one time were considered a handsome addition, but by modern standards, they only reduce the white space and increase the sea of gray. Eliminate them. When the 4 rules of better layout are followed, if the page is simple for the eye to follow, it will be readable. A program of analysis can be started most easily if a newspaper other than your own is evaluated first. Glance quickly through it and see how many times you stop to read. Look for the number of times the flow of news is natural to the eye. Is the layout harmonious on this page? On every page? Is there abundant white space? Are there accents in the hot spots? Good for this newspaper. Does yours measure up? Now let's work over a paper that provides some definite areas for improvement. Is this a modern, harmonious newspaper? With the column rules and heavy type, there is an illusion of all gray. Where is the white space? Some of the hot spots are accented, but not all. The publishers thought ornaments would dress up their paper. Today, ornaments are out. Now that we've established problems of readability, let's see what can be done about them. The rules that govern the front page should be applied on all the other pages. First, remove zigzag meandering body type. Replace it with squared-off type masses in horizontal or vertical blocks. Body type under heads of 2 columns or more should be squared off. Art or pictures should receive the same attention. Art should tell a story. Too many people, too small image sizes, and other confusion should be eliminated. Each block of headline and body type should retain individual identity. Indenting headline 6 points on the left adds breathing room. Additional white space can be gained by syncing column rules and cutoffs. Blank slugs under type square-offs also help. Even a 12-point slug is not too much. Whitespace used effectively is not wasted space. It frames the news and provides contrast. Newspapers begin with reporters. Is the writing crisp and full of punch? Experience has proved that short words, short sentences, and short paragraphs attract and hold readers. Although this is basic journalism, a more readable newspaper will result from the use of these principles, both by reporters and editors. Leads and heads should be shorter than ever before. Like most people, printers are happiest when things are done in old, established ways. But improvement requires new attitudes and habits. It isn't usually necessary to purchase new type to improve the looks of a newspaper. Improvement can be accomplished by simple changes in typographical practices. A new look is possible by using type of a harmonious family. In practice, Bodoni heads of one size can go well with Bodoni of another size. Bodoni italic provides a pleasing companion type for Bodoni Roman. Type size selection is important even for the #1 story. Screaming headlines don't necessarily attract maximum attention, especially if they are used constantly. The 120-point 8-column head belongs only on a really big story. An 8-column head has another serious disadvantage. It subordinates everything else on the page. If a shorter spread is used, important top page emphasis can be given to 2 or 3 other stories. 60-point type will give the average #1 story sufficient impact. The variety of using 48-point type will sometimes provide necessary attention. Playing the #2 story in a bottom hotspot is also helpful in breaking a standardized appearance. Nothing destroys eye appeal more than standardization, and a newspaper's art is no exception. Often a routine assignment results in a routine picture that lacks punch and fails to offer a focal point. Photographers should be aware of the rules of photojournalism. Shoot only the key people. Take large images so individuals are identifiable. Try to make even routine pictures a little different. Even after pictures have been taken, improvement is possible. Exact cropping captures greater attention. Pictures add to readability only if you make the most of what you have and use it in the proper place. Possibilities are limitless. Just because art is printed for 2 columns does not mean that it can be used only on a 2-column story. Use variety from time to time by placing a 2-column cut in a 3-column hole, or a 3-column cut in a 4-column hole. Whitespace can be used effectively with art as well as with copy. Whitespace provides improvement for captions, too. Odd measure captions, such as a 1.5 under a 2-column cut, can be used, especially as part of a picture page. Captions don't necessarily have to run below pictures. They can run effectively at the side. There is a misconception that boldface captions draw attention. Actually, they only muddy the layout. Each newspaper has an overall format which should be followed. Yet there are variations within the format that will be appealing. The size and position of the main headline can vary without disturbing the format. The size and position of art should also vary. A skyline story over the nameplate can be used to keep the paper fresh and inviting. Variation should not be limited to the front page. It should be used to attract readers to every page. Notice how other newspapers have tried to attract readership with hotspot accents, harmonious layouts, and abundant white space. Notice how every section of the paper has broken away from monotonous makeup. Each layout in these women's pages is new and fresh. Editorial pages are no exception to the rules. Sports pages should be easy to read, too. Headlines set in upper and lower case are easier to read. Layout that encourages reading of the entire page has been utilized. And accents in the hot spots draw the eye progressively through the page. By comparing the new typographical format and makeup with the old, you can appreciate the framing effect as the stories are given breathing space and separation. These are ornaments, unsightly heads, curlicues and ink traps, stars, flags, and reverses. Some ornaments are worse than others, but all are non-functional and unnecessary. Research has shown that by following certain guidelines, a newspaper can be made more inviting and more readable. Harmonious layout is mandatory. Variety is helpful, but it must always present a pleasing sight to the reader. Ample white space must be provided. The hot spots must have accents. Ornamentation must be removed unless it performs some useful purpose. Improvement of newspapers has established one significant point. The cost of improvement is one mostly of effort. Little money need be spent on new personnel or new equipment. Newspapers that have adopted the few simple rules for improvement have had rewarding results.